Hello everyone, welcome to the 15th session of this history, second chapter of class 9, the socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. As we have already completed 14th session of this chapter. The last topic we did in the 14th session was the making of socialist society. And today in the 15th session the topic is Stalinism and collectivization. Page number 44. So before going through this book, I'll just let you know what is this Stalinism and collectivizations. Now this Stalin is a name of a person. Now who is this person now? Now this is a person who is now the leader of Bolshevik party. Now you can say after the death of Vladimir Lenin, I think he died in 1924, Vladimir Lenin. After the death of Vladimir Lenin, this person, Stalin, he became the leader to run the government. And his name is what? Stalinism. Now Stalinism means like some ideology. The ideology of Stalin is called Stalinism. Because whenever ISM is added in some of the names or anything, you can say it is related with their ideology. Now what is this Stalinism? The time period when the Russian Communist Party was headed by Stalin, his idea dominated the USSR, and that period came to be known as Stalinism. Listen carefully once more. His idea, as I told you, his ideology dominated the USSR, that means the Soviet Russia, and that this period came to be known as Stalinism. Understood? And what do you mean by collectivization? Collectivization means combining land of various farmers and performing the agricultural activities on collective basis. That means as a whole. That means the land from a different farmers, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 farmers combining the land together, and that type of farming agricultural activities was known as collectivizations. Hope you got the meaning of this Stalinism and collectivizations. Now what is the reason of collectivization? The period of the early planned economy was linked to the disasters of the collectivization of agriculture. By 1927, what happened? 1927 to 28, the town in the Soviet Russia were facing an acute problem of grain supplies. The government fixed prices at which grain must be sold, but the peasants refused to sell their grains to government buyers at these prices. Now, by 1927, what happened? Soviet Russia was facing shortage of food grains, especially in town area. Why in town area? Because in town area, why people face this type of problem, agricultural shortage or food grain shortage? Because what happened? There is no place to cultivate agriculture. But when we say in the countryside, that means in the village, small village areas, the people have their land, they have lots of opportunities for cultivations. But in town area, they don't have land and they don't have any way of productions. So what happened? Now, especially in the town area, people were facing a food shortage now. Now, after that, what happened? The government fixed prices. Now, another reason is that the government fixed prices at which grain must be sold. The government already fixed the prices now of grains. That means the farmers were not allowed to sell the grains in higher prices. The government already gave a tag of price, so that amount only the farmers have to sell the grains. But the peasants refused to sell their grains to the government buyers at these prices. That means the peasants were not happy. The peasants were not happy with the price that was fixed by the government. And these farmers, they refuse, or you can say peasants, they refuse to sell their grains to the government as because the price was fixed and the peasants were not happy. Stalin, who headed the party after the death of Lenin, as I told you, introduced firm emergency measures. Now, Stalin had to do something now. Now, peasants they are refusing to sell the grains at the fixed prices now. There is already people in the towns, they are facing the shortage of grains and all. Now, Stalin has to take some major steps to make these all things normalcy. So, he introduced some firm emergency measures. He believed that the rich peasants and the traders in the countryside were holding stocks in the hope of higher prices. Now what he believed, now this Stalin, he thought that the traders and the peasants, those who were rich and rich traders and peasants, now they thought, Stalin thought that they were holding the grains. That means they were keeping the grains in their stock. So after that, if shortage comes, that they wanted to sell their grains in a higher prices. So Stalin thought of this and he started taking some urgent measures on them. Speculations had to be stopped and supply confiscated now. Now Stalin thought these traders and peasants, the rich peasants, were holding the stocks. Now he thought now something has to be done. Now that means speculations means you can say like now the Stalin now thought of now inspections. Now he wants to go for inspection whether they have kept their grains in stock or not. If this has been done, the grains has to be confiscated. Confiscated means you can say seize the grains. In 1928, party members toured the grain producing areas, supervising enforced grain collections and raiding kulaks. Now after that, what happened? Stalin sent a group of people, that means their party members, to supervise or to look after whether this grains holding was done or not. So this type of things, because Stalin thought like if this has been done, the grains has to be confiscated. Now that is the reason. Now he sent the members to go and supervise, to inspect the things whether grains were keeping in hold or not. So what happened? Enforced grain collections and raiding kulaks. Kulaks means you can say the name for well-doing peasants. That means who were prosper. That means who were rich peasants. They were called kulaks. This is a Russian language. Now, as shortage continued, but these things did not stop the shortage of food grains. Still, these inspections, their supervision, whatever they did, still there was a shortage of food grains in the town. As shortage continued, the decision was taken to collectivize farms now. Now, what is this collectivized farm now? It was argued that the grain shortage were partly due to the small size of holding, because in 1917, what happened? Now see in the book, after 1917, the land had been given over to the peasants. That means the land were distributed among the peasants. It doesn't mean that like the peasants were given a huge amount of land. No, it was not like that. The peasants were given land so that they could cultivate for their own self and sell in the markets and all. So Stalin thought this type of farming, the single farming, is also the problem of food shortage. Now Stalin thought of collectivized farm in a whole. These small size peasants farms could not be modernized. That means Stalin thought that the farmers, those who are holding, because the poor farmers, they could not afford machineries, things and all in the small farm, isn't it? Because they have small land. So if they started buying machines and all, where the profit will go, what they will eat, what the family will eat, what they will sell, isn't it? So they were unable to put, or you can say they use machinery things. So Stalin thought, so this type of farming is the reason of shortage of food. It was necessary to eliminate kulaks, take away land from peasants and establish state control large farms. Now this kulaks, that means the land which was under the rich peasants and all, eliminate kulaks means the land which were under the this one rich peasants, this has to be confiscated. That means this has to be eliminated. The land should be now take away from peasants and establish state control large farm. That means now taking away land from this peasants, rich peasants and all, and that land should be under whom? State means government. Now government will look after the land now. Now these steps, whether these steps will take to the normalcy in the country or not, this will really solve the problem of shortage of food grains in the country. So Stalin have lots of doubts now, though he's trying to do better in a better way, but the thing is here, the peasants were not happy. Now were people willing for that collectivization, collectivized farm in a whole? No, there were many problems. Now what are the problems? Now we can see on the next paragraph. Now in this paragraph we'll see the problems during collectivization. What followed was Stalin collectivization's program. Now Stalin thought of implementing this collectivization's program. From 1929, the party forced all peasants to cultivate the collectivized farm. That means kolkhoz. That means collectivized farm in Russia is called kolkhoz. That means he forced people, all the peasants, to cultivate grains, agriculture in a whole, in a common. That means adding, supposedly, number one farmer has his own land, number 2 farmer has his own land, number 3 his own land, number 4. So this 1 2 3 4 will be now as a whole, not 1 2 3 4, no, not individual. Now the 1 2 3 4 will walk as a one now. So this Stalin started forcing peasants to, for what purpose? Collectivized farming. The bulk of land and implements were transferred to ownership of collective farm. That means the bulk of land, which was as a whole, they made the land as a whole collectivized farming. So this land was made in ownership. That means you can say a government was looking after all these lands. Now after that, what happened? Peasants walked on the land and the kolkhoz's profit was shared. That means people started walking in this collectivized farm. Kolkhoz means, as I told you, it is a collectivized farm, and whatever the profit came from that kolkhoz farming, collectivized farming, that profit was not given to the government, but that profit was shared among the peasants. Enraged peasants resisted the authorities and destroyed the livestock. But the thing is here, peasants were not happy with this collectivized farming. The peasants were totally not happy with this collectivized farming. They refused the order of the authorities, and what they did, they destroyed the livestock. That means livestock means they started destroying their own cattle and all. They started destroying the farms and all, agricultural and all. Now because these farmers and peasants were totally against the collectivization farm or collectivized farm, kolkhoz. Between 1929 and 1931, what happened? The number of cattle fell by 1/3. That means 1929 to 1931, what 1/3 of the cattle was fell down. That means you can say because of this collectivized farm, the peasants were not happy. They destroyed all the agricultures and cattle and all. So somehow there was a downfall in agriculture. Those who resisted collectivizations were severely punished. That means those who did not want to do, or those who were refusing to of this collectivized farming, they were severely punished. Not only punished, many were deported and exiled. That means deported means you can say forcibly removed from one one's country. That means they were thrown out of the country. Forcefully they were thrown out of the country. And exile means forced to live away from one one's country. That means same, somehow the meaning is same. The people, the peasants, those who did not follow the collectivized farming, they were severely punished, and many of them were forced to leave the country. As they resisted collectivizations, as they resisted, that means you can say as they were protesting against the collectivization, peasants argued that they were not rich. Peasants, they were saying we are not rich, and they were not against socialism. They were not against the socialism. We are not rich. Let this collectivization's farming systems stop, and let our land be given back, and let us cultivate agriculture independently. Who want this? Peasants want this. They merely did not want to work in collective farm of varieties of reasons. Stalin government allowed some independent cultivations. Now, there are many reasons, as I told you, that is also the reason that the peasants did not want to cultivate the land in collectivized farms. Now, another thing is here, Stalin government allowed some independent cultivation. That means some own peasants were allowed to cultivate agriculture in their own land. That means in their own independent way, but treated such cultivators unsympathetically. That means without any daya and maya. The Stalin government started treating that peasants very unsympathetically. In spite of collectivizations, productions did not increase immediately now. Now the question is now, did the situations, that means the situation means you can say the food shortage improved after collectivizations? The answer is no. Even due to this Stalin theory, whatever he tried to implement, though there was no any improvement in the food shortage, or you can say there was no any improvement after collectivization. Now, what happened now? In fact, the bad harvest in the year 1930 to 1933 led to one of the most devastating famines in Soviet history, when over 4 million died. Now, this collectivizations farming, and after the peasants were not happy, isn't it? They destroyed the livestock, cattle and all. They killed the cattle and all. They started destroying the agricultural grains and all. So these are all the many reasons that this famine, which was in the year 1930 to 1933, this was one of the devastating famines in Soviet history. That means near about 4 million people died. 4 million means you can say 1 million is equals to how many lakhs? 10 lakhs. That means 4 million is equals to 40 lakhs people died in this famine in Soviet. That means 1930 to 1933 was one of the most devastating famine in Soviet. Many within the party criticized the confusion in industrial productions under planned economy and the consequences of collectivization. Now, many people were confused now. Whether this, because Stalin, Vladimir Lenin always stand for socialism, and Stalin also, he tried to stand for the socialism, but what went wrong in the middle? Somehow the people stopped liking this person Stalin, because peasants were here, you can say, somehow directly or indirectly they were tortured. Stalin and his sympathizers charged his critics with conspiracy against socialism. That means conspiracy means sadyantra, isn't sadyantra karna. So somehow all these critics and all, whatever they did, the theories, collectivization and all this, they tried to add with the socialism. Who? Stalin and his sympathizers charged his critics with a conspiracy against socialism. Acquisitions were made through the country, and in 1939 over 2 million were in prisons or labor camps now. Now, who will take the blame of these famines and all? Someone has to take, isn't it? Someone has to take the blame. So here Stalin is playing a game now. With whom? With the common people. He's making a conspiracy among the people. He's trying to make people forcefully, sending them to jails and all. So here acquisitions were made throughout the country. In 1939, what happened? 2 millions were forcefully sent to the prisons or a labor camp. Most were innocent of the crimes. Most of the people were innocent of the crimes, but they, even though they were caught by Stalin government, but no one spoke for them. There was no one who spoke for these innocent people. A large number were forced to, that means a large number of people were forced to make false confessions under torture and were executed. That means many innocent people were made forcefully to confess, yes, I have done. You can say confess means to forcefully to accept the fault. Though that person have not done anything wrong, the Stalin government is trying to make them confess forcefully. You can say Jabardasti. They are trying to make them confess, yes, I have done this crime. So by doing this, they were under torture, and many were executed. That means many were killed also. If you don't accept, you will be killed, and many were killed also. Several among them were talented professionals. There were many more talented peoples over there. If these talented people, professional peoples would stay, that means more modernized things could be done in Russia, or most of the things would be good in Russia. But even they were also killed and tortured very badly. So somehow this Stalin and collectivization, this topic, hope you understood. Stalinism is ideology of collectivizations which failed, which caused devastating famine in which year? In 1930 to 1933. Between this, near about 4 million, that means 40 lakhs people died. This was one of the most devastating famines in Soviet. Somehow we can see, after reviewing all this topic, we can see this collectivization farming failed. So somehow the Stalin ideology, his theory, did not work properly, especially in the situation of food shortage in the country. So hope you guys understood. Please go through the book thoroughly. We'll meet in another session. That will be the last session and the last topic of this second chapter. Till then, take care. Thank you.